the crazy thing about masking is once you realize you're doing it, it becomes 20 times more
Harder.
tiring to keep doing it.
Yeah.
So I realized when I was, before I knew I was autistic and ADHD, before I realized what masking was and what I was doing, I was coping with it fine. I was often exhausted, but I wasn't consciously exhausted.
I really like what this creator said about the fact that you don't know how much you're spending on masking. And so that you feel like it's easy, but at the same time, you're still having all of that recovery time that you don't really understand. And this is sort of metaphorically, it's like you're the person that goes out and you're like, oh my God, I'm spending too much money and I don't know where it is. I know I'm spending it. And then you realize that like, oh, you've gotten like $15 a day in little, treats from the gas station, and that's $450 a month. And you're like, oh, okay. And so now every time you go to the gas station and you get your little energy drink, you're like, ooh, now I'm aware of the cost of this. Masking is very much like that. Once you know how heavily you've been masking, you're aware every single time you have to put on that face of how the gas tank, right, is being drained to empty. You're aware of how your bank account, your savings account in masking time is just being pedal to the metal, swipe, swipe, swipe that card, run me down to empty, and you become so much more, I guess, sort of hyper fixated on saving those resources for when they're necessary. However, you do find yourself in moments where you can't save those resources, and because you're aware of how heavy you're having to spend, you're being extra angry. It now makes you extra taxed because you know, I have to put on this brave, stupid, neurotypical face right now, and I'm spending resources I don't want to spend. Think about how mad you are when you realize you get a flat tire and you got to go buy a new $190 tire, right? Think about how angry you are. It's not that you didn't necessarily have the money, but now you're put in this place where you have to spend resources you didn't want to spend, resources you wanted to save. This is what masking feels like for us. And yes, when we don't know we're doing it, we put on a real brave face while we're doing it, but we don't know why. Oh my God, every single day I got to sit in my room for 5 hours. It's the same way we don't know why. Oh my God, why is my bank account so empty? And now when we know why those resources are being stolen from us, they're being siphoned from us aggressively, the practice of doing so becomes that much more infuriating. Be mindful of your resources. Do your best to not mask when you don't have to. And I know there are going to be places where you don't want to and you have to. And try to not let the knowledge of those resources being taxed away from you make you have to spend more resources to go through that process.